Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. In the last part, we took Grand Cosmos, but it's done! We did it! We're through Grand Cosmos. And now, it's time for some good for the soul something. I don't know where I was going with that. I knew the name of the quest, and I don't know where I was going. I suspect the Crystal Exarch has told you of my past. I was once a mage of the Royal Court of Vauthry, and its soulcraft was my field of study. The tonic you administer to the patients here is one of my fruits of my labors. I hope to do great things for the kingdom. But in the end, my knowledge brought only suffering, a plague the like which none had ever seen. In the hands of unscrupulous men, what should have been my greatest triumph was instead became my greatest shame. At least the warriors of light brought those responsible to justice. Not they did. I'm sure they think what might have happened had they not. Let's return to the task at hand. Finding a means by which we might revitalize these people's incorporeal ether. Do you think it can be done? When the sky still ablaze with primordial light, I would call it an exercise in futility. But now, you may have a chance. The method I have in mind will entail the conjuring of a familiar. They are able to amplify the energies poured into them, making them the perfect conduit for the aether revitalizing magics we'll ultimately employ. If you're about to launch into a lengthy explanation of the metaphysics of your plan, don't bother. I'd rather get on with doing whatever it is that needs to be done if it's all the same to you. Whatever reagents must be procured or spells invoked, I'll do it. I admire your spirit. Very well, your first task will be to gather the necessary materials. The purest of waters and finest of clays, as well as a fey lantern brimming with pixie magic. If you're convinced the resulting familiar could help the patients, fine. Alpha, no, the water and clay should be simple enough, but I think you know what we'll have to do to get the lantern. You don't mean... Pixies took quite a liking to us before. If we humor them with our company, I'm sure they'll be willing to help us. Fine! We'll pay a visit to Eulmore. I never thought you would be the one to suggest going back there. I'm impressed you've been there at all, let alone befriended the Fey folk. Oh, while you're about it, seek out the new Moa Plot Annie. They'll be able to supply you with the water suitable for our needs. Right, let's get this over with, shall we? Those materials might look familiar. They're slower made as a matter of the clay. Might I prevail upon you to find it? Might look familiar. We may have had a side quest involving them. Play for Amarang would likely be best. Know you of anyone who might be able to assist us? I could... There's scavengers in Morsuga and I could ask some honors, it's fine. Ah yes, they will point you in the right direction, I am sure. While you and the twins are occupied, I will see if there's aught else I can learn of the stagnation which afflicts the people here. Hurry up! Well, what a coincidence. You've come at a good time. Just this moment, I finished repairing this house and trolley you lot took it to in the Vauthry. The trolley was no trouble, but the talus would have been another matter had we not had a visit from Master Chai. He offered us a share of the leftover building materials from the Daedalus Stoneworks, as well as a few trade secrets to help us along. Clever man, that Chai knows. He seemed pretty keen on the ideas I have for putting the giant talus to work. Like a giant trolley! But Magnus still refuses to see all the good we could do with it. You're entitled to your dreams, Jarek, but that doesn't mean you can go harassing our guests with them. Master Chai was just being polite. And something tells me Arya didn't come all this way to talk about trolleys. What is it you need, friend? I see, and this familiar requires clay from Amarang. We'll look no further. If anyone can find you some quality clay, it's us. Saying that, it isn't exactly a commodity nowadays, but there must be some lurking somewhere or other waiting to be dug up. If I'm not not mistaken, there was a time when they used to take clay from Mount Buron mines to make adobe bricks. Place is swarming with coyotes now, but if you're after the good stuff, you could do worse than to look there. Hi, birdie. No, don't be too far below me. I'm trying to avoid birdie. Right there. Oh, I knew there was gonna be one eventually. Hello. I'm gonna beat you up because my job or something? Back to the inn. That's also my job. Twins are returning in one piece at that. I was convinced Pixie would turn at least one of them into a garden ornament, but no. You have the clay, I take it? Wonderful. We need but combine the clay and the water, then heat the mixture with the Fey lantern. After that, it will be a simple matter of settling upon a suitable form and performing the necessary incantation. Beq Lugg, I have a question. In the event that we had need of the spell and we weren't around, would it be possible for another to perform the incantation? Assuming you possess the requisite skills, yes. Henrik and the others have suffered so much, and I swear to do everything in my power to save them. If there's a chance the spell could do that, I would be the one to invoke it. Mayhap you should be the one to do so. A deep understanding of the subject's physical state combined with a strong desire to help them can drastically increase the magic's effect. And you are plainly more familiar with these people than I. I dare say there are few in Norbrent more dedicated to finding a cure. Is that not so, Arya? She's the best one for the job. Just don't look at me! I'm done. On strike. I'll give it my all. For Halric. For Tesleen. Then we are all of a mind on the matter. Alize shall be the one to conjure the familiar.
Let us begin. I trust you've prepared the clay? Very good. Now, I would have you sculpt for me a porksy. Plump, with floppy ears and a short curly tail.
A porksy. I think I know what you mean. There we are. How's that?
Well, it is certainly creative. There's no denying that.
Yes, I'm no artist. Very funny.
Pay him no mind, child. Though it may look like a grotesque parody of reality, it is what the invoker believes that matters.
You're not helping.
but I speak the truth. If successful, this incantation will turn imagination into reality. Which is why the only thing of import is what you believe this figure embodies. You must focus. Hold the Porksy's image steady in your mind's eye. Now then, as I taught you, relax and allow your energies to flow.
With flesh of clay I bid thee rise, on wings of dreams to touch the skies. What once was idle fantasy, I call forth to reality.
Not bad for a first attempt. Now, let us see what can be done for young Halric. Through the operation of the magics you invoked to animate this familiar, it is now replete with the energies required to stir the boy's soul. You need but give it a name, and it will do as your heart desires.
A name. All right, I've decided. Now. Go, Angelo!
Mother, I...
How is he, Beq Lugg? Did it work? I believe it did. You and your fledgling familiar have done well. My eyes do not deceive. A hint of color has returned to his soul. God, I would jump for joy if I weren't so exhausted. You're so close now, Halric. As you are even now in the process of discovering, this magic asks much of the invoker. What you may not have realized is that the same is also true of the subject. As such, we must proceed with caution. However, with further treatment, I have the utmost confidence the boy will make a full recovery. Observing the reanimation of his stagnant soul has been most enlightening. I will need time to put my theories to the proof, but I believe I can fashion a spell to produce the opposite effect. that is to induce a stagnation, thus enabling our safe transport back to the source via Orosite. A thought occurred to me about this treatment. Beq Lugg said when the soul is rendered dormant, the mind is separated from the body. The person becomes incapable of interacting with the world around them. Does that not sound a lot like some of the tempered back in the source? Not really. It is the fate of most tempered to become slaves to primals, save in a handful of cases. Or am I missing something? If I can master this technique, the art of revitalizing the soul, I know of at least one in the source who could desperately use such treatment. Gabu. Exactly! His condition is uncannily similar to Haloric's, is it not? The only difference being that his soul was suffused with earth-aspected ether instead of light. It follows that if his soul is subject to similar kinds of stagnation, there may be a chance we can save him, right? Forgive me, but who is this Gabu fellow of whom you speak? I see. His condition does sound similar, yet there is much and more about the soul that remains unknown even to me. I say this not to discourage you, you understand, but to remind you that this is delicate work we do here, work requiring patience. Of course, as long as there is hope for the patients here, I will devote whatever time is needed to see this through. But refuse to spend that time in idleness. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to stay here with Angelo and continue with our treatment. I say if you should return to the Crystarium with Beq Lugg and see if you can't make some headway with our newly polished theories. I would tell you to rest first, but I see you're not to be convinced. Ah, the fire of youth. Let's return to Crystarium, then. Finally, I've found you! Cashier, what are you doing all the way out here? There's trouble back in Eulmore. Lady Chai's beside herself, sighing, pacing, the whole lot. Near enough begged me to go and find you. Sighing and pacing, you say? It must be urgent. I take it I'll be returning to the Crystarium alone. Go on then. It's not as if I have anything for you to do. Thank you, Beq Lugg. Sorry for bothering you and all that, but she says the future of Eulmore is at stake. Nowhere to turn. Lady Chai's up in the parlor. Best not keep her waiting, eh? Well, not here seems out of the ordinary, though I do not see Lady Chai anywhere. Probably pacing around outside again, staring off into the distance and all that. Sighing? Strange. Let's see if we can find her and discover the source of her distress. There she is.
Oh, thank heavens you're here.
Lady Chai, whatever is the matter?
I knew not where else to turn. Oh, this is all too much for my poor heart to bear alone.
Alone? What of Master Chai?
But that is the very reason I summoned you. He's gone.
What? What happened?
It all began after the events at Mount Golg. With Lord Vauthry out of the way, we all agreed that a new leader must be chosen.
And so you held an election?
Yes, well, sort of. Not a single person volunteered to stand, you see. After a lifetime of leisure, we free citizens have grown somewhat indolent. Readapting to the harsh realities of life is trying enough, but to take charge of a broken city as well? No one wanted such responsibility. Nevertheless, Eulmore could not well do without a leader, and so we decided that anyone and everyone should be considered a candidate. And after we cast our ballots and tallied the votes, the mayorship fell upon my dear husband.
Well, given the manner in which he orchestrated the construction of the giant Talos, none could deny his leadership qualities.
But even before then, he had proven himself at Daedalus Stoneworks, don't forget. He is more than qualified for the role. The perfect choice. Indeed. I told him as much when his victory was first announced. But perhaps I was too forceful in my attempt to encourage him. For shortly after that, he vanished without a word.
You believe he was so daunted by the burden of leadership that he felt compelled to flee? Please, Lady Chai, dry your eyes. Your husband does not strike me as the sort of man who would abandon his duty, much less his beloved wife. There has to be some other reason for his absence.
You truly think so? What about you? What do you think has become of my husband?
Gone forever. No, he didn't flee.
And there you have it, Lady Chai. You needn't worry. Master Chai loves you more than all the world, and he will return. Wherever he may have gone, rest assured we will find him.
Thank you, my dear boy. You have set my mind at ease. I will trust in my husband and await his return.
A notable absence. It makes no sense for Master Chai to have left without a word, but even if he had, he would not have done so unobserved. Someone here will have seen something, I'm sure of it. We should split up and inquire as to whether anyone saw him leave, or, failing that, if they have any idea where he might have gone. I'll meet you at the Glory Gate to compare notes later on. Oh, conveniently, I'm just gonna make my way down, it looks like. Master Chai? Why, yes, I spoke with him recently, though I recall he was in a rather dour mood. Concerned about Eulmore's neglect of industry, you see. With Lord Vauthry's apparent inexhaustible stores of meal and no great need for money, it's little wonder our businesses were all but forgotten under his rule. I assured Master Chai that the Boutique of Splendors will do all it can to contribute to the revival of trade here in Eulmore. We're soon to satisfy him. He took his leave soon after. Alright, we have learned about the state of business in Eulmore. Yeah, fine, we're right here. Let's walk. Almost missed my turn. I'm the right section. No, I'm not. They're both... out there. Cool. Where are we going? Glory Gate. I guess I should have gone to the other one first. Oh well. Let's do it now. Dropped off. I want a mount. I can recall a man fitting that description, asked to speak with the poor buggers lately come from right. He wanted to know the state of things down in the derelicts, and you can be sure we give him an earful. Like food, medicine, and clothing. There was plenty to tell. We hunt high and low for whatever we can scavenge, and it's barely enough to fill our bellies. But folk down here don't want to survive, they want to thrive. When he heard that, he started mumbling to himself something about finding this work, I think. Fair play to him, though. Not content with having his ears chewed about the derelicts, he asked about the other settlements and all. So that I can't really say. Looked like he was heading for Gatetown when I last saw him. Alright. Condition about the poor living in Berkelusha's downtrodden. Now I'll weave my way back through tents and get back up to where I wanted to go. Where I went in the first place. Yeah. Looking for Master Chai, are you? Is something amiss? When last I saw him, he seemed ready to collapse from exhaustion. I insisted he rest and catch his breath, and we talked for a while. I was concerned over the city's defenses, among other things. He made more than a few valid points. Many of our men are still recovering from your confrontation with Lord Vauthry, and finding General Ranji in the middle of the plaza shook us all to the core. The man commanded no small amount of loyalty, and some of our longest-serving soldiers seem lost without him. Indeed, a number of them left. Not that we blame you, of course. Without you and yours, we would still be blind to the error of our ways. Anyway, funding permitting, I propose replenishing our ranks with volunteers from the derelicts in Gatetown. We have a duty to protect not only Eulmore, you see, but the surrounding region of Kalusha as well. And I, for one, will welcome any man or woman willing to take up arms for that cause. Indeed, I told him as much, and he seemed relieved to hear it. It was on that note that we parted ways. He headed outside, as I recall. Alright, parallel state of Eulmore's defense. Oh, there you are. How did you fare? Have you learned anything which might offer a clue as to Master Chai's whereabouts? Yeah. Interesting. He apparently paid a visit to the Queen Bee as well. Discussed the possibility of granting admission to customers from outside Eulmore, an idea of which the proprietor was surprisingly receptive. Sounds like he's got big plans for the place. Eulmore, I mean, not the bee. Perhaps, but the question remains, where did he go after leaving the city? For the people! All we know for certain is that Master Chai is showing great concern not only for Eulmore, but surrounding settlements as well. I'm just adding that in there because it seems logical then that having consulted those within the city walls, we would wish to do the same to those without. So Arya, if you would go and make inquiries and write, I shall do likewise in Stilltown. Gatetown, I leave to you, cashier. Fair enough. Where shall we meet when we finished? Well, top rung would seem to me to be his next most likely destination. Let's reconvene there. With any luck, one of us will stumble upon him by then. If not, we will be well situated to continue our search. Alright. No, that name doesn't ring any bells. But there was a rather dapper-looking missile gentleman here not long ago. He wanted to talk about relations between Wright and Eulmore, or rather the lack of them. We lost a great many people to their promises of meal and the chance of a lavish life among the free. And Vauthry thought to take even more from us, conscripting the few able-bodied men we had left to guard his paradise. I needn't tell you what happened when the seniors came. Such things are hard to forgive. But Vauthry's gone now. We're curious to see what will become of Eulmore in his absence. That's what I told your friend. Chai knows, was it? And I'm sure the others said the same. Not what he wanted to hear, I suppose, but he left soon after. And that was that. And up we fly. So he paid a visit to both Wright and Gatetown as well, did he? Let's see, Kaishiro and Nagli much the same. He seems determined to salvage what goodwill might yet remain among the settlements of Kalusha. The only likely place he has left to go being Amity. Come, if we are quick, we may yet catch up with him. Beep. Aria, Albino, Kaishir, what are you doing here? Well, he might ask you the same, Master Chai. We've been looking all over for you. Looking for me? Whatever for? Lady Chai has been nigh inconsolable in your absence. She claims you disappeared without so much as a word and bade us return you to her side. What blazes are you talking about? I left a letter for her in our chambers. I suppose she could have overlooked it when she gets an idea in their head. I can only apologize. No harm done, Master Chai. But since we are here, may I ask what compelled you to come all this way? We were told you had been elected mayor, and from what we have gathered from nearby villages, you've been inquiring about the people's grievances. Is it safe to assume you mean to take office? Now, let's not jump to conclusions. I did seek to learn about the problems faced by the people of Kalusha. That much is true. But I am by no means sure I am the man to solve them. Tackling our many challenges will require resources, and until I've secured them, it would not be right to assume the royal mayor. I see. And you believe said resources can be found here? Indeed, the people's grievances are many, but in the course of my inquiries, I have already met with several individuals willing to lend their aid in addressing them. However, there remains one individual crucial to my plans, a man whose counsel may yet make a mayor of me. With respect, such forethought is, in itself, proof of your suitability. The city needs you, Master Chai, and I am certain this man of whom you speak, whoever he may be, will reach the same conclusion. For what little it is worth, we will vouch for you should he require convincing. Whatever you need, you can count on us. I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything. You've got your actions to speak for you. For as long as I can remember, all I ever wanted was to make it to Eulmore. That dream's gone now. Burst like a bubble. Or a boil, more like. Anyway, outside of repaying Master Alphino, I haven't had a clue what to do with myself. Spent most days in the days. But you've been running up and down trying to find a way to fix this mess for everyone. And I reckon you can do it. You got this lot of Mount Gold, didn't you? How hard could mayoring be? You're gonna steer Eulmore to a better future. I know it. I want to help. Properly help. Do something that makes a difference. I don't know what it is yet, but I'll work it out on the way. If you let me come with you, that is. Yeah, you give me entirely too much credit, a lot of you. I can't deny it gives me heart. Come then, let us press on together. Thank you, Master Chai. We mustn't get ahead of ourselves. Eulmore needs more than a man with good intentions, which is why I am here. To find one with the experience needed to see the city thrive. Who is this man exactly? And are you certain he's here in Amity? Brendan is his name, and yes, he is, or was. I scarcely began to explain myself when he decided his time was better spent elsewhere. He stood as chief advisor to Vauthry's father when he was in office. Keyboard! If Ranjit was the mayor's right hand, one might say Random was the left, and between them, they kept Eulmore on the road to prosperity. So he's more than a mere man of business, which is why I must find him. But even if you do, what makes you think he will listen? Before giving chase, might it not be wise to speak with those who know him here at Amity? They might be able to shed some light on his reason for rejecting your overtures out of hand. Yes, I suppose that makes sense. Perhaps we should start with Tristal then. As I recall, you made rather a favor. You You made rather a favorable impression on him. I'm certain he would be willing to talk to us. Greetings, friend, and to you too, Master Chai. I presume you were here to ask after Rendon can help overhearing your earlier exchange. Yes, well, with Vauthry God, you wore Watts for a leader. Should no one rise to the challenge, the city could very well collapse. I came here seeking Rendon's counsel in the hope that we could build a better Eulmore together. That's still my wish. But given how abominably you were mistreated there, I will quite understand if you choose not to help. Worry not, Master Chai. I bear no grudge against you or the people of Eulmore. I would not see you suffer for Vauthry's villainy. As you no doubt gathered from your meeting earlier, Rendon can be rather uncompromising. He has his principles, you see, and little patience for anyone he deems less committed to their own. Your desire to right the wrongs of your past, of Eulmore's past, is quite admirable. I fear the guilt you bear on the city's behalf works against you. I can see it in your eyes, in the way you carry yourself. It goes without saying he sees it as well. You must let those feelings go, Master Chai. Be more assertive. Commit to this course, and prove to him Eulmore has a resolve to change. Resolve to change? I believe he was heading towards Pit 8 when he left. If you plan to go and speak with him, I suggest to be firm and clear in your intentions. Very well, to Pit 8 we shall go. I will not take no for an answer. Nay, not even a maybe.
Well, well, it's you again. Well, I see you've invited your friends. Need them to fight your battles for you, do you?
No, I didn't invite them, as it happens, though they are indeed my friends. Well, not only mine, but every true Eulmoreans. They are the ones who awakened us to the truth, to Lord Vauthry's villainy, the famous warriors of darkness.
Are they now?
Yes, they are. It would be no exaggeration to call them our saviors. We owe much and more to their kindness, but we cannot depend on that kindness forever. To do so would be a little different from entrusting our affairs to Lord Vauthry. Nay, we must learn to stand on our own 2 feet. And I would have them present to witness my attempt.
Hear, hear, Master Chai.
Your sentiments are admirable. Yet admirable sentiments do not a nation make. In my capacity as advisor, I once strove to build a better Eulmore. Gave honest counsel to my superiors, drafted laws for the benefit of one and all. But in time, my values fell out of favor. There was no need for them in this paradise Vauthry was creating. And so I left my homeland behind. But you, Chai News, you were content to wallow in indolence under Vauthry's auspices. And so I cannot help but ask myself what manner of nation you intend to build.
I can offer no simple answer to that question. But this much I will say. It is my hope that Eulmore can become a nation which her citizens might freely choose to build together. A great many people, myself included, flocked to Eulmore seeking sanctuary. The alternative being to live in fear and die in pain. Seemed an easy choice. And sanctuary we found. As much food and drink as we could ever want. secured at the cost of the surrounding villages. Little wonder the people gathered at our doorstep, begging to work among the bonded. The free were blind to it all, of course, content to, as you say, wallow in indolence, in ignorance. Were I mayor, I would first take stock of the city's resources and see that they were assigned equitably. Our days of reckless consumption are behind us. The distinction between free and bonded died with Vauthry. The needs of rich and poor alike must be considered if our nation is to survive. To which end I would take steps to secure channels for supplies, rekindle relations with nearby settlements, who re-establish industry, reach out to neighboring nations, and the list goes on and on. But I am no ruler, nor even a politician. I am an entrepreneur. My expertise lie in planning and profit. I haven't the knowledge or experience to run a nation. Please, Rendon, will you not help me? Together, we could solve the city's problems. Build a Eulmore for the people.
A Eulmore for the people. I rather like the sound of that. But before I offer you my counsel, I would be certain of your ability to perform the duties of office.
You would?
You ask me to help you solve Eulmore's problems, but first I would see you solve one on your own. Accomplish that, and you will prove both to me and the people that you are a man worth following.
Right then, is there a particular issue you would have me resolve? You seem to have conducted an assessment of the problems Eulmore now faces. I assume you will agree, therefore, that the matter of dwindling food stores is the most pressing. Yes, meal being neither a desirable nor less sustainable option, I assume alternative foodstuffs are now required to fill the void. And a man who hungers does not like to contribute much to society, save violence, perhaps. So tell me, how do you propose to solve this problem? Give me a satisfactory answer, and I'll consider you offering you my counsel. A combination of measures would seem to be in order. One to address the immediate issue of supply, and another that of production. Go on. For the present, Eulmore's coffers can be used to purchase food from our neighbors. This would afford us time to address the underlying problem that affects us all, the long-standing neglect of agriculture. The villages that once served as sources of trade for foodstuffs must be repopulated, their means of production restored. This assumes, of course, that we can rekindle relations with our neighbors, guarantee security and stability in the region, and, most importantly, find people willing to leave the city and take up the rebuilding effort. My. Think about that by yourself, did you? Well, yes. It began as a rather abstract plan I drafted some time ago after speaking with the peoples of Eulmore and the nearby settlements. You've impressed me, Chinese. I have? Well, that is a relief. Oh, you haven't secured my support just yet. Only my attention. Grand plans will not be enough to persuade the masses. If you would ask them to rebuild, you must provide them the means to do so. A fair point, Rendon, and one to which I have given much thought. Propose these to tell us to aid in the establishment and maintenance of these settlements. Their employment should drastically improve efficiency and ultimately increase production. Talos! But Daedalus Stoneworks closed their doors years ago. With a ready supply of the necessary equipment, the people would starve before your plans would be put into effect. Well, as heir to the Daedalus Stoneworks, it just so happens that Talos are my field of expertise. With a little help, I'm quite certain we can acquire what we need in no time at all. Oh, you just give me a look and you make me choose an item, huh? Alright. Finding good health. Redden is quite right, and building Talos from scratch would require time we simply do not have. Which is why I propose to make use of the long-abandoned Talos which will wander the wilds of Kalusha. They will need to be deactivated, of course, and if memory serves, the tools required to do so should still be a top rung. Come with me. Aha! The old memory hasn't let me down! This chest contains canisters filled with a dashingly potent insulating powder capable of halting the flow of ether in the Talos. We need only get within throwing distance of one and let fly. That's disabling without damaging them. Ingenious. No trick of the trade, nothing more. Once disabled, it should be a simple matter. Enough matter to get them to march to Eulmore. More extensive repairs can wait. Ordinarily, this is where I would ask you to run along and do the deed, but as I have said before, it's high time we learn to stand on our own 2 feet. Thankfully, throwing canisters is something even I should be able to manage. Come off it, Master Chai. Even if the Talos ain't a threat, there's 101 other things out there waiting to make a meal of you. Yeah, like a little murderer, probably. Maybe. That's as may be, Kaishir, but Rendon asked me with solving this problem, and I will not sit idly by while others risk everything to see my harebrained schemes realized. Not this time. Much isn't to say the mere thought of it doesn't fill me with dread. Truth be told, I can't feel my legs. If I'm to prove I'm a man worth following, I must lead by example. Well said, Master Chai. Alright, but if there's any trouble, we call it off. Yes, well, it should go without saying that I have no intention of dying for this. I've always preferred living to see the fruits of my labors. And to make sure I do, I will require your help. It is as Kaishir says, these lands are dangerous if one is not careful. And ask you to use my spyglass to look out for any beasts that could get in the way of my work. Also, need to alert me when it's safe to subdue the Talos. Understood? Good. Well, let's be off to the quick way through the north gate and see if we can't find a suitable vantage point for you. Oh, I guess it's gonna keep a lookout. Target him to give the signal? I did it. I did it! Let's move on to another tower, shall we? Alright, so we got the bombs. They're looking away. Just need to see how everything moves, because the bombs are probably going to move again, right? They're over over there. Turns that way. Bombs are looking towards me again. Oh yeah, sure. An opening, don't turn around. Okay. I can't believe I'm getting the hang of this. You may leave the next one to me, Arya. Ha-ha! That should do it. Now we have all we need to proceed. Well, and back into a cutscene. Oh my gosh. I can scarcely believe it. It was a reckless, foolish plan, but somehow it worked. I did it. Master Chai, I believe I owe you an apology. Your plan to replenish Eulmore's food storage showed forethought and sound judgment. What's more, it is plain your time at Daedalus Stoneworks has equipped you to lead, as evidenced by the extraordinary company you keep. You, sir, are more than qualified to be the next mayor of Eulmore. I thank you for your vote of confidence, but the fact remains I am wholly ignorant of the world of politics, which is why I would ask you to join me and grant Eulmore the benefit of your counsel. I would be honored. When the people behold these talos, I have no doubt they will lend you their support. It would seem Eulmore's leadership is at last in capable hands. Would you not agree? Should probably be getting back soon, Master Chai. After you've tinkered with the talos and all that, Lady Chai's worried sick.
Right then, form a line and make for Eulmore.
What's that noise? Wicked White! Runaway Talos! Call the guard!
Stay back! All of you!
Is that... Darling, you're back.
But of course I'm back. You didn't see...
Dearest, I can't...
Oh! Oh dear.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry, my darling. It's just the sight of you filled me with such joy, I couldn't help myself.
Oh, no, it's all right, dear. I should have just come out and said what it was I was intending instead of entrusting the task to a hastily scribbled letter.
Does that mean you'll do it?
Well, I'm here, aren't I? I mean, not that my absence signified any unwillingness, you understand? Oh, no, naught could be further from the truth. I only left to enlist the aid of the former mayor's senior advisor. And now that I have it, I believe I am ready to take office.
Oh, how wonderful!
Dearest, please!
Wow, my camera. It was quite a reception. One Master Chai will struggle to forget. More seriously, the arrival of the house has seized the public's attention. Once word has spread around Eulmore, it'll be that much simpler to gather one and all so the Master Chai can make his inaugural address. Yeah. Moving forward. No need to fret, Arya. I have never felt better. And not at all overawed by the prospect of addressing the assembled masses of Eulmore. As for where to do it, were to accommodate everyone who might feasibly wish to attend, I think the only place large enough would be the Emergen. Then I will go and spread the word among the citizens, both free and bonded, that they are to assemble there to meet their new mayor. You there, Kai Shear, was it? Would you go and inform the residents of Gatetown and the derelicts? Of course I will. Good lad. I'll let the guards know not to bar the way to Vauthry's chambers. Goes without saying that I might expect the Warrior of Darkness to attend, assuming she's available. Might as well see it through to the bitter end, eh? The doorman at the Crown Lift will show you up. Oh yes, Master Chai told us to expect you. The Emergen is already filling up with people of all persuasions, free and bonded, citizens and non-citizens. But for you, our guest of honor, we reserve the place at the front. Right this way, miss.
Go on, dear.
Thank you all for gathering here today. But before going any further, could I ask the free citizens of Eulmore to look around? Tis a sight none of us would ever have seen under Lord Vauthry's rule. Not only do we stand in the familiar presence of those we once called the Bonded, but today we welcome the peoples of the Derelicts and Gate Town too. Today we welcome the Warriors of Darkness, come to bear witness to Eulmore's new beginning. As you know, an election was recently held, at the end of which I had the honor of being chosen to succeed Lord Vauthry. You place great faith in me, and I promise to do my utmost to live up to your expectations, and I will seek always to carry out the duties of this office with integrity and fairness. Always, I say, but not forever. Let it be known that I do not intend to hold this post indefinitely. I consider myself but an acting mayor who will serve only for the interim, while Eulmore is reshaped according to a new set of values. No longer can we think of ourselves as divided, as the free and the bonded, citizens and non-citizens. The systems put in place by Lord Vauthry must be undone. But even as we tear down the old, we must give thought to the new, to what manner of nation Eulmore should become. Whatever the answer may be, it cannot be decided by one man alone. And so I propose that an open forum be held, that we might all discuss how best to strive towards a better future. However, there can be no talk of the morrow unless we first address the issues of today. Securing new sources of food, rebuilding relations with our neighbors, re-establishing industry. There is much and more that needs to be done. Too much for a mere man of business. And so I pledge instead to do everything in my power to ensure our city's security and stability while we all work together to see these problems solved. The road before us will not be easy, and I know full well how daunting the prospect of honest labor may seem to some of you. But we must accept the reality of our circumstances. We must move forward. This much we owe to ourselves and to the brave heroes who risked their lives to bring back the night. Once we have shored up our city's foundations and regained some semblance of normality, let us reconvene to speak of the future. Until then, I humbly ask that you lend me and each other your strength. For Eulmore!
That was a fine speech, Master Chai. I believe your words stirred every soul in attendance. Stirred them to action, I hope. If I have learned anything from all this, is that change begins with the individual. Tis but a matter of finding the strength to take the first step. Assuming my fellow Eulmorans can, it shall be my honor and privilege to help them walk this road we have chosen. But we must not forget the individuals who made all of these changes possible. Were it within my power, I would carve a tribute to your heroism into the very stone upon which this city stands. Subject, darling, but now that you have officially taken office, have you given any thought to your mayoral seat? We will not be moving into the immersion theorist. It's too big for one thing and too far from the people for another. We'll retain our current residence and will govern here in the parlor. Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. I much prefer the view from the parlor. Begging your pardon, Master Chai, but have you got time for a word? Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Haven't that? Ah, that's me. I like your speech, but there's folk outside these walls that don't even have enough food to last till tomorrow, and more who are counting their crumbs. If you have a plan to change that, I want to help set things in motion. Then we've much to discuss. Unless I enjoy take office, then my work begins in earnest. Well, I suppose I brought it upon myself. Thank you again for your help, Arya. I hope to see you again before long. Pushing game turns is usually, yeah, we won't see each other for a long time, right? What a day. I don't know what it means exactly, but I do know I've got plenty to think about. Since we all have a great deal to consider. I had resolved to remain here until such time as Eulmore's future was secured. It's clear to me now that the city is in capable hands. I have every confidence they will find their way, and I believe it is time we went on ours. Every time. So often those leaving too, is he? Seems like everyone's moving on. Everything's changing. I'm thinking about what I should do with all this. Like I told you, I spent most of my life dreaming about living here with my friends in paradise. That paradise is gone, but something's better. Something better is taking its place, and I reckon I want to be a part of it. That this Eulmore for the people Master Chai has been going on about ain't gonna build itself after all. Not that I'm much of a builder. Me and my friends will find a way to make a difference, though. Help keep things changing for the better. A far nobler dream than the one to which you clung before, and one I am happy to say we share. Whatever path you choose, I pray for your success. Well, when you put it like that, there's no going back now, is there? We've got a few ideas on how we can do our bit. It's a matter of taking the first step. vows of virtue, deeds of cruelty. Truly, to see Kaishir thus inspired by our actions is inspiring in itself. Yet, however much I may wish to stay and see what comes of his efforts here in Eulmore, we have matters of our own to attend to. Come, we shall return to the Crystal Tower. Mayhap Beq Lugg's studies have borne fruit in our absence. Welcome back. We are given to understand that a new mayor has taken office in Eulmore. Indeed, our good friend Master Chai was elected by popular vote, and, after some considerable soul-searching, chose to accept the post. It's a shame you weren't able to attend his inaugural speech, though I have no doubt you will see more of him in the future. But tell me, how fared you preparing the White Aura site? Our work did not proceed quite as expected. In your absence, we had a frank discussion on the principles of soul transference and concluded at length that White Aura site was ill-suited for our purposes. But, Urianger, did you not say that, compared to the massy soul of an Ascian, the stone could house one of ours with ease? That I did, and armed as we are with Beq Lugg's invaluable insight, it would indeed prove a trifling matter, were we to disregard the inviolable link twixt mind and soul. A link which would, we did belatedly realize, be weakened most perilously in the process of rendering our souls dormant, as Aura sight doth require. Thus, the shedding of these fleshy simulacra and the surfeit of ether which compriseth them would in all likelihood deprive us of our psyches as well. It would theoretically be possible to channel your minds into the Aura site instead, but we would more than likely sacrifice your souls in the process. Which is why we have abandoned that plan, and instead devoted our time to finding a means by which mind and soul might be transported together. We are no closer to a solution than we first began. It's a vexing conundrum indeed, but for one for which the Crystal Exarch has posited the most intriguing solution. When our discussions turn to the transference of memories in the psyche, I cannot help but be reminded of a technique with which I have personal experience. Arya, do you recall what we learned of my encounters from our encounters with Doga and Une? I speak of the royal eye of the Allagan imperial line, gifted to my forebears through the blood and memories of the ancient Allagans. It is by this gift that I am able to control the Crystal Tower. If we were to gain an understanding of the technology by which the Allagans were able to accomplish this transference, perhaps then we could keep mind and soul together. Imagine, if you will, a device like unto a soul crystal, replete not only with our worldly memories, but also the bountiful energies of the soul. That is our current avenue of investigation, and we'll follow it wheresoever it leads. While we are thus engaged, I think it best that Arya return to the source and inform Krile and the others of our findings. Indeed, agreed. I imagine Tatar will be relieved to hear we've made progress of a sort. Then I would beg leave to relay our findings on the Thancred Ring and to assist where I may in their investigation of the MT. Yes, please do. Should we have need of your counsel, we will not hesitate to summon you. Basically, see you next batch. Give our regards to Tataru, won't you? Nope. Denied. Never. Arya, you're back! How did everything go in the first? Wait, don't tell me. Krile will be here shortly and she'll want to hear too. She's just tending to the others, their bodies, I mean. God, I don't think I'll ever get used to saying that. Anyway, you can tell us everything the moment she gets here. Oh no! We're doing it. Upon speaking with Tataru, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It's recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes and wait. I don't know what this is. So next time we will speak with Tataru and wait for Krile's return. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps to keep being content like this and more. You can find the links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!